This is the Calgary Royals Hockey Podcast. Brought to you by Rigstar Communications, innovative oil field communication solutions. Video production by The Creative Monkeys.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back down to the Father David Bauer Arena. Host today to your hometown Calgary Royals on Thanksgiving Sunday as they have a date this afternoon with the Fort McMurray Oil Barons, who are the defending AJHL champions. I'm joined today by Mr. John Dyck. Now, John, Dan Bakala, the goalie for the Royals, he got the 2-0 shutout against the Brooks Bandits on Tuesday. He gets to start back in net today for the Royals.
You know, and that's a smart move by the Royals there. Bakala had an outstanding game on Tuesday night, once again getting the shutout 2-0. He also had a lot of support from his other teammates. Defense were always there clearing out the puck, making sure that he wouldn't have to make those second, third, fourth stops, because that's when you get into trouble. That's when the other team scores goals. All
right, now the Oil Barons, we'll talk about them for a bit. They started the season off fairly well. They won the AJHL last year, as we alluded to. They started this year off 4-2. Since then, on a bit of a slide, and they're playing a lot of hockey in a short amount of time right now.
You know, they played 8 o'clock on Friday night in Canmore. They played 8 o'clock last night in Drumheller. And now they're here in Calgary for a 2 o'clock start. And you know what? Their legs must be getting tired. They must just be ready to get back to bed in their nice, comfy comforters. And you know what, though? Is that one thing that's going to pump them up? There's a few players on this team from Calgary. Dubets. He's from Calgary. He was a big midget prospect. They're expecting big things out of him this year. He's probably going to have some family in the stands. And you know what? You always want to do well when you have family in the stands. Also, Kyle Fair. He played with the Calgary North Stars last year. 17 points, 33 games. Look for those two players to have some great games.
All right, so if you're Ryan Barrett, the head coach for the Calgary Royals, knowing that this team coming into your building, this is their third game in less than 72 hours, what are you telling your players in the dressing room before they hit the ice?
I tell my players in the dressing room, you know what, use the big ice to your advantage. Most of these players, they play on smaller ices than this. This is Olympic-size ice, as you know. One thing that I don't see the Royals doing very much this year is using the big ice to their advantage. Tonight, it's going to be a big key to their game. If they can get the Barons skating hard in the first 20 minutes of the game, do you know what, their legs are going to be tired. They're going to be slower getting up. And do you know what, overall, the Royals should be able to pound them into the ground if they play this game right.
All right, and one more note about the Royals tonight. Carpenter, number 20, making his return. He has missed the last 5 games with a cut to his leg. He's an assistant captain. He is depended on for scoring. This is his first game back. It'll be interesting to see if he has his legs underneath him. So get your seatbelts tightened. We are on our way as the Royals are hosting the defending champion AJHL Fort McMurray Oil Barons. We'll have to see if the Royals can take advantage of what should be a tired Barons team and take the play to them early. All right, so 60 minutes are in the books here at the Father David Bauer Arena. The Fort McMurray Oil Barons, the defending champs of the AJHL, come in and lay the proverbial skates to the Calgary Royals. This one wasn't even close. 5-1, the final for the Fort McMurray Oil Barons. After the game, John and I had a chance to catch up with Captain Austin Davenport as well as forward Scott Carpenter for the Royals. All right, we're outside the Royals dressing room here with the captain of the Royals as well as player of the game for the Royals, Austin Davenport. Now, Austin, a tough loss against the Oil Barons, the defending champions tonight. Your first game since Tuesday, 4-day layover. Do you think that played into it? Looked like the team might have been a little slow, tired in the first period.
Well, it could be, but you know that was the Oil Barons' third game in 2.5 days or whatever it was. So that's no excuse for us. I mean, we were fresh. We should have been ready to go, and obviously for the first 2 periods we weren't.
So what was the difference in the third? Because I believe you guys came out and outshot the Oil Barons 13-2 in the third period. What was the difference between the first and second period and into the third, where you guys were able to find your legs and fire some more shots off and have a more productive period?
Well, I think that we just kind of got our feet going a little bit, you know, and the fact that, like I said, it was their third game in 2.5 days might have played into that a little bit. But I don't. That was not our best effort by far. I mean, we did put out a solid effort in the third period, like our coach has said inside there. But I mean, you can't show up for 20 minutes of a 60-minute hockey game and expect to have a win, and it showed up today.
All right, so you guys, next game in Okotoks on Tuesday night. What specifically do you think you guys are going to have to focus on to come out against Okotoks in their building on Tuesday night and come away with a win?
Well, I think that we got to be a little more grit in our game. You know, we got to be a lot more physical and make teams work for the space that they earn. I think we got to get a lot more pucks to the net and kind of think about capitalizing on our chances. I mean, I had a few pretty solid opportunities tonight, and I was lucky if I hit the net. So I gotta be better at finding the net, and I think the rest of the guys got to go home and take a look in the mirror and do the same thing.
All right, well, Austin, thanks very much for this, and good luck on Tuesday against Okotoks.
I am here with Royals forward Scott Carpenter. Scott, first of all, how's the leg feeling?
A little sore right now. I haven't really done too much on it in the last 2 weeks, so it's a little sore, but I expected it, so can't do much about it.
Do you feel that it was 100% before the game, or were you going in there a little bit injured, a little bit tired?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It's not completely at 100%, but it's good enough to play, you know, just a little bit of pain. If you can't play through that, you shouldn't be playing, right? It's not too bad. If it's not going to get any worse, you might as well play.
Now, what happened tonight? You guys had a great game last Thursday, 2-0 win. Tonight, you guys came out a little bit flat. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it just seems like we're really inconsistent lately. We either come out in the first and we'll just dominate for 60 minutes and we'll come out with a 5-1 win, or, you know, we decide to take 30 minutes off and we play the other 30 minutes, and it's just not good enough in this league. Other teams are too good, so they're going to capitalize and they're going to get goals on you. So you got to play 60 minutes.
So now going into practice this week, you guys don't play again until Tuesday, and then you guys have another home game Thursday. Do you guys try to rework your system, or do you continue with the system you've been playing with all year?
Yeah, no, you got to go with the system that got you here. You know, it's the system's there for a reason. It's a good system. You just got to play it. If you don't play the system right, then you're not going to win. Other teams are going to execute their system, and they were just better today. They worked harder, and they just beat us.
Do you think that they're just running off adrenaline tonight, or do you think that they just really were feeling the win here?
I'm sure they've had 2 games in 2 nights. You know, their coach probably ripped them open. They had 2 losses coming in, and they're a good team, so they're going to bounce back, and we gotta be ready to go every night to beat teams like that on a night-in, night-out basis.
All right, I'm here with Scott Carpenter from the Calgary Royals.
So, John, both Austin Davenport and Scott Carpenter, they're unwilling to make any excuses for this loss. They knew that they should have been able to jump on a very tired Oil Baron team tonight, and that just wasn't the case for the Royals.
You know, 3 games in 3 days, that's 180 minutes of hockey before even coming into this arena today, plus travel time. It's about an 8-hour drive up to Fort Mac. They come down, they go to Canmore, which is an hour away from Calgary. They have to drive all the way back up to Drumheller for last night's game. Then they have to come all the way back to Calgary. They couldn't have been in a very good state mentally, and they must have just been running off adrenaline. But you know what? They got the jump on them. They look like, hey, we're here. We might as well play this game. We might as well get on them hard first, because you know what? In the third period, we're going to have absolutely no legs left.
Well, and speaking of the third period, that seemed to be the only period where the Royals actually realized that they were in a hockey game this afternoon. Maybe a little bit too much turkey on the brain for when they get home tonight. But it seemed like the first and second period, the first 40 minutes of this game, the Royals just did not really have any sort of momentum, and they never really got into the game mentally or physically. You
know, and in the first 2 periods, they had 12 shots on net. That is unacceptable for AJHL hockey. You need to be firing more pucks at that net. And I mean, you want to go out and make those big hits, but you know what? They were running around the ice tonight. They weren't playing their positions. And you know what? There's a couple times where I'd see the defenseman up at the point when they should have been back covering. All right, so the next game that the Royals face, they go into Okotoks on Tuesday. Not too long to sit and dwell on this game. I'm sure the coaches will try and erase this from the players' memory as soon as they can and have them looking forward to Tuesday night in Okotoks. What do you think the Royals specifically have to work on in order to go into Okotoks and win that one? You know, I think that they just got to get together and come together more as a team for the next game. Tonight it seemed like there's a good individual efforts. Davenport played really well in that second and third period after taking a couple penalties. But you know what? Just didn't seem like they were clicking. Their passes weren't crisp. Nothing was really going their way. They would try to carry the puck in across the zone, and you know what? Every time there's 2 Oil Baron players right on them. John, a little bit more emotion in this game than we're used to seeing. You don't see a whole lot of fights in the AJHL, but tonight there was one fight and one-sided fight where Sewell kind of beat up on the Oil Baron player, an unwilling Oil Baron player, as far as that fight went. But a lot more emotion showed here this afternoon than usual. You know, and I was really surprised at that. These teams only play each other twice a year, so it's not like they're great rivals like Calgary Calgary Royals and the Calgary Canucks are, or Calgary Royals and the Brooks Bandits are. But you know what? I think that the biggest thing tonight was that the Royals wanted to come out there and play hard. The Royals went up to Fort Mac earlier this year and lost 7-5 in the Barons building. And you know what? Overall, I think that the 3 goals at the start of the game, emotion was starting to boil over, and they're just trying to get something going, some sort of a spark. And you know what? After that Sewell sucker punch, it seemed like the Royals had a little bit of a spark, but you know what? They lost it, and they just couldn't put that puck in the net, only registering 12 shots in the first 2 periods and getting a total of 12 shots in the 3rd period.
All right, so they head into Okotoks to play the Okotoks Oilers on Tuesday night. We'll see if maybe they can play with a little bit better controlled aggression in their next game, maybe stay out of the penalty box a little more. Now we're going to throw to the highlights of this game, all the hits, all the penalties, and of course, all the goals. But Lest gets it back now, trying to find some open eyes. Takes the shot, tipped in front by Cormier, and that is going to be a goal for the Calgary Royals. Good play by them, John. Did exactly what you said they had to do. They took advantage of that 4-4, and now they're still down by 3, but maybe a little bit of momentum. That goal there by Cormier. As Fair has it in front, he shoots, that's a rebound onto the stick of Tyler Helfrich, and he scores. No mistake made there. The Royals caught running around a little bit in their own zone. Bakala lets out another long rebound, and Helfrich is there. Johnny on the spot, no doubt about that. He had nothing but open net to shoot that into. Oh, and a fight here. Sewell was looking at whoever that is. He's fighting number 5, Riley LaForge. Sewell was trying to get him to go. He wouldn't go. So finally Sewell just dropped his gloves and really did not give LaForge much other chance. Sue comes in. And this game is going to get out of control in a hurry here.
You know, and Sealock's going to be lucky there if he doesn't get 3rd man in on that fight, because he just jumped in. What Sealock should have done there was back away. His teammate was already fighting. You know what? Sealock might be gone for the game. That would be a huge blow to the Royals.
I would not be surprised at all, as Rissu was actually the Royal in there that was going to be dropping the gloves, but Sealock jumped in and absolutely mugged the Oil Baron player and threw him to the ice. It's going to be interesting to see here, like you said, if Sealock has shown his way to the exit. The end boards, face first, he is down on the ice, and that looked like it hurt quite a bit, but Lust able to get to his hands and knees now.
You know, I'm surprised that there wasn't a penalty on that play, actually. The Barons player just dived right in front of him, didn't have the puck, and you know what? This is a huge blow for the Royals. He is their leading scorer right now in the season, and you know what? They got to keep him healthy with.
Lucky not to get hurt there. Back over for Perry. Perry plays it over, and that's a goal for Clausen of the Fort McMurray Oil Barons. Put a fork in this game. It is done. The Royals are going to walk out of this building tonight the losers, as the Oil Barons were able to put their 5th shot away there. And that will just about do it for this Thanksgiving Sunday edition of the Calgary Royals podcast. On behalf of Mr. John Dyck, the Creative Monkeys corporate and commercial video production, Rigstar Communications, and of course the students from the Mount Royal College Broadcasting Program, I would like to thank you very much for tuning into this podcast. The next home game for the Calgary Royals goes Thursday, October the 12th. Puck drops at 7 o'clock against one of their most hated rivals in the Olds Grizzlies. Do one better than sitting behind your computer and watching this. Come on down to the arena, be part of the action. We know the Royals always love the fan support. So come on down, watch some good AJHL hockey. Until next Thursday, take care.
This is the Calgary Royals Hockey Podcast. Brought to you by Rigstar Communications, innovative oil field communication solutions. Video production by The Creative Monkeys.